and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Anna, and as you can tell by the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about books that have, disappointed us. And what I mean by disappoint is we felt like we've been lied to by other people, because most of the times, I go onto social media, BookTok, Bookstagram, BookTube, and I find very interesting books that those creators swear they are amazing, they were the best thing that they have ever read, and then when I go and read them, they lied. Like, they straight up lied, because what do you mean this is the greatest thing that you've ever read, but to me, it's just, meh, not really interesting. Like, how does that even work? So today, I am going to be talking about the books that I felt like I was lied to. And starting off, we have Dance of Thieves, and I don't even remember the author's name, and that's how you know that I really did not enjoy this book. Now, with this one, it was, 50% my fault, 50% the internet's fault. So I was in the wrong for not checking out what this book truly was, because I did not know it was a romantasy. And as you know, I don't really enjoy romantasies. They're just not my thing. I'm never interested in the romance, and it just becomes, boring to me. I just really don't enjoy romance in my books. I just really don't enjoy romance in my books when it's, the main plot point, or it's very present in the story. And that's what happened with A Dance of Thieves. I thought we were going to follow a thief and her doing, thief things, stealing things, and with a little bit more politics involved. But no, this is straight up romantasy, and I hated every single second of this because it was enemies to lovers, and I do not like that trope, because I cannot fathom how you can be someone's enemy and then become lovers. Like, how does that even happen? I really don't understand, because it's an enemy. When you have an enemy, it's a person that you hate with your soul. Like, that's how I imagine an enemy to be. It's not someone that you dislike or a rival. No, it's an actual enemy, a person that you want to see dead. Like, you wish bad upon that person. So I never understand how you can end up dating someone that you wished so, poorly upon. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how it turns into love. So I never really enjoyed that trope. And of course, being present in A Dance of Thieves, I did not enjoy it in the slightest. I did not, I don't even remember the story, because the story was so boring. Nothing was happening. It was just our main character, the thief, following around with her enemy, supposedly with the prince, I think, of a kingdom, and they just went on this weird journey. I don't know why they went on the journey, and it was just boring because they did nothing but, just walk. And that was it. Like, that's literally what I remember. And that's why it is 50% my fault, because if I had seen it was a romantasy, I wouldn't have picked this book up. But whenever I saw people talking about this book, nobody ever mentioned it was a romantasy. Like, it was just never there. It was always about this thief and about politics, and that's why I was intrigued. And I trusted those people. Never again. Never again will I trust BookTok, because you need to tell me that it's a romantasy. You need to tell me it's enemies to lovers. I only found out when I started reading the book, and I was like, okay, maybe this gets better, maybe the story gets better. It does not. Okay, so do not pick this book up if you don't like enemies to lovers or romantasy. It is not worth your time. And another book that I felt betrayed by was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Now listen, I started reading consistently back in 2021, which was when the show aired, Shadow and Bone, and that's why, it became popular again. And I thought, a bunch of thieves, a group of thieves, an impossible heist? Sign me up. Like, that's all I need. And I really enjoyed the heist aspect, but I did not like the characters, and it was such a disappointment, and I truly felt lied to, because it did have the feeling of found family, don't get me wrong, but I think the writing of Leigh Bardugo really did not help with those characters, because she, in my opinion, was so repetitive when it came to the characters' traits, their past, and their motives, that I just got tired of it. They ended up feeling like caricatures of, certain, I'm forgetting the word. Of certain characteristics, let's just say. And what I mean by this is, for example, Cass Brecker, he's supposed to be a very, merciless type of thief. He doesn't really care about other people. He's very selfish. He doesn't mind putting others in danger in order to getting to his goal. And the author, Leigh Bardugo, she just kept repeating this. She kept repeating this chapter after chapter after chapter. Whenever Cass did something, horrible, she'd be like, that's Cass Brecker for you, that he's merciless, he's cruel, and he's all these things. And it was kind of like she was trying to convince me that he was these things, and I just became tired of it. Cass stopped being I don't want to say human being, but he stopped being a complex character to me. And the only thing I saw when I looked at him was, oh, he's a cruel thief. He's a ruthless leader that doesn't mind putting anyone else in danger. That's all I saw him as. And the same happened to Matthias, because the author also kept reminding us why he didn't like people that used magic, because in his culture it is seen as, witchcraft, as a sin. You shouldn't be able to have these magical powers because you're not, a god. So she kept repeating this, and to me, Matthias was, he's the annoying religious person. That's who he is, and that's why I think the characters didn't really work for me, because I just couldn't build that connection. I just felt like they were fake, they were caricatures, and it was very, very sad, because everyone was talking about this, was raving about this, everyone loved this book. And I felt betrayed because it had everything for me to like it. It had a heist, a found family. I just, I to this day, I'm kind of still angry. And sometimes I still do think about rereading this book, because I'm like, I have to like this. I have to like this. It has everything for me to like. Why couldn't I like this? And I don't know. I just felt really betrayed by TikTok, especially TikTok, because that's where I got my recommendation. And that's why I read it back in 2021. And I gave it 2 stars. It was just a very sad moment for me. And another book that I completely felt, lied to was the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Now, if you go, especially here on BookTube, you will see so many BookTubers raving about this trilogy, saying that they love this trilogy. I don't understand the hype. I don't understand it. I didn't like that it was written in the second person. I think it didn't have a purpose for it. I don't know. I just don't really understand the choice that the author made. But that's not what bothered me the most. I just couldn't connect with the main character. I couldn't care less about her goal. And I know her goal was supposed to be very moving. She was after her daughter that had been kidnapped by her father, because in this world, if you have magical powers, which is, I think you have, it's kind of like earthbending. You control the earth, and that's how you can cause earthquakes. And people in this society, they don't like the people that have these magical powers, because every season, the 5th season, every season there is just this massive cataclysm that ends up destroying the world. And what happens is that the earth starts breaking apart. It has a lot of earthquakes. The earth is moving around. Of course, things get destroyed, and that's why, in the society, if you have these powers, you are associated with these cataclysms. So it's completely normal that people, discriminate you, they don't like you. And that's why Esun's husband, which is the main character, when he finds out that their daughter also has powers like their mother, he kidnaps her. He actually ends up killing the youngest son, and he takes their daughter somewhere, and now Esun is after her, trying to save her life. So it is a very moving goal. I just could not connect with it. I don't know why. There was just something missing. I couldn't care less about the story. There was just, and this one is very hard to explain, because I just did not care about it. And I actually went into the second book thinking maybe the second one is better, which is the Obelisk Gate. And no, I still gave it 2 stars. I don't know. There was just something that was missing. And if you ask me what it is, I could not tell you. But I do feel very betrayed, because a lot of booktubers that I trust, and a lot of booktubers that have a similar taste to mine, they love this trilogy. They rave about it. They put it in God tier, S tier. And here I am just like, why is it a 2 star? Like, why is it a 2 star for me? I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to reread this again, because I remember vividly not enjoying this story at all. So I don't think I'm ever going to reread it. It's just going to be one of those cases where I just feel completely betrayed, and I don't really understand what other people see in this book, and that's okay. It is what it is. Another book that I felt betrayed by was Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now, I already didn't have big expectations for this book, but because so many people said that this was such an amazing dystopian book, I thought, you know what? Let us try it out. What is the worst that can happen? It was a horrible book. It was literally a horrible book. I did not enjoy this at all. And this one is also a little bit my fault. I should have known. I should have known better. Why did I think I was even going to enjoy this trilogy? I don't know. I don't know why. I think it's because I saw it everywhere, and a lot of people talked about it, especially because, we were back in the dystopian era when this book came out. We had Divergent, we had The Hunger Games, we had Maze Runner. I didn't really enjoy those movies. I haven't even watched The Hunger Games. I know, people. I know, it is so weird, but no. I think I've only watched a couple of clips from the first movie, when sometimes it's on. I do watch a little bit, but I've never watched the whole trilogy. Never done it. I did watch the first Divergent movie. Did not like it at all. I watched the whole Maze Runner trilogy with my boyfriend, but it was kind of as a silly joke, when you just watch trash movies because you just want to trash it. And that's exactly what we did. But honestly, I do love the trope of the Maze Runner in the first movie, especially when everything just happens in one setting, which was the maze. I absolutely love that. I love when that happens. So if I did not like these movies, why did I think I was going to enjoy The Red Queen? I don't know why. I thought, maybe because it's a book, I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. But what really bothered me in this book, it wasn't even, the common tropes of our main character being different from everyone else. She's the one that's going to start the revolution. No, it's not that. What really aggravated me about this book was the love triangle. I hate love triangles. As you know, I do not like romance. That is not my thing. But if it's as a subplot, I don't really mind it. I just ignore that it exists. But I cannot do that if we have a love triangle because it just aggravates me, okay? It aggravates me. I do not have good experiences with love triangles because anytime, and it is rare, and it mostly happens with anime, but whenever there's a love triangle, I always choose the wrong person. It's not like it's the wrong person, but I always choose the person that the protagonist is not going to end up with. So it's just, why are you putting me through this pain? Why are you putting me through this pain, frustration, if she's not even going to end with the person that I want to? And in this case, in The Red Queen, I actually didn't care. I just really did not care about the love triangle at all. It was so aggravating because I remember it just being like, your life is at stake. You are a danger to this society. You are questioning this hierarchy that the society has. You are the living proof that having silver blood does not matter because you have red blood and you also have powers. So you are the embodiment of a revolution and you're out here worrying about guys? No, please don't worry about men. It doesn't matter. Your life is at stake. And that's why I was so frustrated because it just felt, of course you always have this one love interest that you cannot trust. Can I trust him? Can I not trust him? Is he going to betray me? And I you know what? I was just over it. And that's why I felt betrayed because nobody talked about this love triangle and I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know it was going to happen. And then when it happened, it was too late because I don't know how to DNF books. And another book, and this one was quite recently that disappointed me, was Ward D, I think that's how it's called in English, Ward D, by Freida McFadden. And now listen, this author specifically has blown up here in my country in Portugal, at least here in my country. I don't know, internationally, I think she, of course, did blow up, but I don't know if she's still, as relevant, let's just say, I don't know. But here in Portugal, she blew up, okay? Every single book of hers has been translated. It keeps coming out. She writes a book every year. I swear to God, maybe twice a year. I see, sometimes that she's launching 2 books here in Portugal in 1 year. It's crazy. And I was like, you know what? I do enjoy a good thriller once in a while. So let me just try this out. And I chose Ward D because it's a standalone. And it was also available in my public library. So I thought a win is a win. A win is a win. It was horrible. When I tell you this book was so bad, I completely felt betrayed because I was just, that moment when you're just looking around the room and you're thinking, how can any of these people have this opinion? And that's how I felt because I was just looking around, especially in social media, and I was like, why am I the only one that hates this? Why am I the only one that thinks this is so poorly written? Because it is. The characters, they were close to 30 because obviously we are dealing with doctors here. So they were close to 30, but they acted like they were 16. It felt so high school. The writing was it was just poorly written. And everything felt very childish, like I said. Also, the plot twists are not well done at all because these plot twists are, obviously when you want a plot twist, it has to be something that surprises you, but it also has to be something that you are expecting. That is what a good plot twist is. In the in the famous words of Brandon Sanderson, like he said in his classes, you have to expect a few types of results, otherwise it comes from nowhere and it doesn't make sense. And that is what happens with Freida McFadden. Some plot twists come out of nowhere and I'm like, where did you get this from? And they always, and a lot of people like it because, it's so unpredictable. Yes, you pull this out of your ass. Like, how is this going to happen? And not only that, she had a plot twist inside of a plot twist. So, for example, you have this plot twist, right? And it gives you this information. But then a few pages later, it's kind of like, oops, I lied. No, it's actually this. To me, this is not a good plot twist because now I cannot trust you. I cannot trust anything that you say, and that is not good. It's not good because it's poorly done. It constantly feels like you're being lied to by the author, and it's not fun at all. I just really did not like this book. I don't want to say I despise this, but I did give it a 1 star, Was it fun at times? It was. The only thing I liked it was one of the patients, because this is in a psychiatric? I do not know how to pronounce this. This is one of those words where you just read on paper. Anyways, let's just pretend I said it right. So, of course, you're going to have patients here that have delusions, and one of the patients thinks he's Spider-Man, so she calls him Spider-Dan. And I just thought that was genius. That was something that was very, very funny, but that's it. That is all there is to this book. Please do not read a Freida McFadden book, because it's mediocre at best. And lastly, and this one, yes, it's going to be controversial, it's Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I actually did not enjoy this. Now, I don't like romance, so I knew that I wasn't going to enjoy this classic as much as other people, which is completely fine. But I still felt betrayed in the sense of this book, nothing happens. Like, nothing happens in this book. All you have is drama and balls. Like, all these people do is gossip, and it's so boring because the gossip is boring. Like, what do I care if that person marries with another person, or if that person is talking to that person, or if that person didn't go to that person's party? I do not care. I could care less about that, and that is why I felt so betrayed, because I don't understand. You know, the romance, I can understand that the people love the romance. That is normal if you like romance. That is completely fine. And, you know, I did enjoy the dynamic between Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth. It was a fun dynamic, but you still didn't have that much of it. I think it ended kind of abruptly, and I don't know, it was just such a quick relationship in that sense, because we also spent time with other people and other couples, and that's why I didn't enjoy it, because I thought we could have a little bit more of Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth, and less of the gossiping. I know this is what they did, okay? I know that back in the day, the rich people in London gossiped. That's all they did. They gossiped and they went to balls. Which, honestly, it's kind of sad. Like, that's all you did. You know, it's fun, but that's all you did for a living. You know, I don't know. It's just very, very boring to read about. And I also understand that the women, they just didn't have opportunities. They couldn't go out and find jobs and work for themselves and be independent. So all they had to do was just sit at home. And yeah, I do understand why you would want to gossip, because if you're at home without doing anything, what else are you going to do? You know, of course you're going to gossip. Of course you're going to dress up and go to all of these balls and dress up and in these gowns and go and party and go and dance and find husbands, because that's what you did back then. I understand all of that, but I didn't know it was this boring. You know, that's why I felt betrayed, because the way that people talked about it here on the internet, it was just amazing. You know, it's amazing. It's a 5-star. It's a classic for a reason. And I just thought, you know, it was boring. You know, that is my biggest complaint. I was bored the entire freaking time. And these were all of the books that I felt betrayed by, you know, that I felt like the internet betrayed me, because I just do not understand how some people can enjoy these books and love these books. I do not know how. And please let me know down in the comments below if there were any books that the internet also lied to you about, that you felt like they were just so overhyped, that you didn't really understand how people, you know, like this, what the hype is about. Please let me know down in the comments. And please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel, because it does help my channel out a lot, and it gives me a lot of motivation and validation to continue filming these videos for you guys. And I will see you on my next video. Bye!